Welcome to the Revision 2022 program of Drishti IAS. When the year 2022 began, it was in the news that the South American country of Chile is rewriting its constitution, in which priority was given to the environment. Then, it seemed that this year would bring some more such news for the world, which would thrill everyone. But the Russian invasion of Ukraine put the whole world in trouble. On 24th February 2022, Russia attacked Ukraine and shocked the entire world. Russia, first of all, recognized the independence of the self-proclaimed People's Republic of Donetsk and Luhansk in eastern Ukraine. Putin stated that he would send Russia's army to both these areas as peacekeepers. Later, the war started between Russia and Ukraine. Various countries, including the US and Britain, imposed strict economic sanctions on Russia for violating the international agreements. As a result, crude oil and food prices skyrocketed all over the world. The second bad news came that India's neighboring country Sri Lanka went bankrupt. Sri Lanka could not escape its economic crises as it was burdened by international debts. Apart from China, Sri Lanka is also under the burden of foreign debts of the Asian Development Bank, the international financial market, Japan, and India. In such a situation, Sri Lanka's foreign exchange reserves started depleting rapidly. When the foreign exchange reserves get depleted, then a country cannot import goods from abroad. Consequently, inflation in Sri Lanka reached its zenith, although India provided assistance to Sri Lanka under its neighborhood first policy, but eventually Sri Lanka became a victim of bankruptcy. India's another neighboring country, Pakistan, was also struggling with a different crisis. The political crisis in Pakistan attracted the attention of the whole world. Till now, no Prime Minister of Pakistan had completed their term. Therefore, it was expected that Imran Khan would set a record by completing his term. But he could not complete his term. Opposition parties moved a motion of no confidence in the Parliament of Pakistan against Prime Minister Imran Khan's government, and Imran failed to win the confidence. Consequently, Nawaz Sharif's brother, Shehbaz Sharif, became the Prime Minister of Pakistan. Till now, Pakistan Muslim League N and Pakistan People's Party are the two parties which used to rule in Pakistan. However, Imran Khan's party came to power in 2018 for the first time, and it shattered the tradition of exchange of power between Pakistan Muslim League and Pakistan People's Party in Pakistan. Imran Khan came to power as he promised to end corruption and improve the standard of living of the citizens of Pakistan, but he failed to do so. On one hand, the value of Pakistan's rupee was declining, and on the other hand, inflation was getting out of control there. Therefore, other small parties of Pakistan withdrew their support from Imran Khan's government. Meanwhile, the 2+2 dialogue was organized between India and the US. This dialogue was held in Washington, D.C., the US capital. India's Defense Minister Rajnath Singh and External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar visited the US to attend it. Both these leaders met US Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin. A virtual meeting also took place between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Joe Biden. A 2+2 dialogue was held between India and the US for the fourth time. Several important aspects were discussed between the two countries during this meeting. The US extended its support to India's permanent membership in the United Nations Security Council and India's inclusion in the NSG, that is, Nuclear Suppliers Group. India is holding 2+2 dialogues with Russia, Japan, and Australia also. 2+2 dialogue between India and Japan started in 2019, while it started with Russia and Australia in 2021. This year was also important from the point of view of strategies in the Indo-Pacific region. The Quad Group meeting was held in Tokyo, Japan. Leaders of the Quad countries attended the meeting. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also participated in the meeting on behalf of India. The Russia-Ukraine war remained the main agenda of this meeting because Russia's attack on Ukraine has emerged as a challenge for the Quad. The challenges of the Quad have also increased because India is passing through a rough period to maintain the balance in its ties after Russia and the US, and there are challenges posed by China too. India wants to maintain a balanced relation with both Russia and the US, but the US repeatedly asked India to clear its stand. In this meeting, the US launched IPEF, that is Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, in addition to the Quad. New Zealand and 8 ASEAN countries will also be members of the IPEF. It means that there will be 13 members of IPEF. IPEF is being considered as a major move by the US to counter China in the Indo-Pacific region. Thereafter, the 2-day 14th BRICS Summit was held in China through virtual mode. Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated in the summit on behalf of India. The summit was held amidst ongoing border tensions between India and China, the Quad Summit and Russia's isolation in the world over the Ukraine issue. In such an environment, the issues which were once again discussed and agreed upon in the BRICS Summit were named as Beijing Declaration. The issues included in the Beijing Declaration are quite cardinal, not only for the BRICS countries but also for the world. These issues are respecting the sovereignty and territorial integrity of all states, supporting dialogue between Russia and Ukraine, and forbidding the use of Afghan territory to harbor or train terrorists. Through the Beijing Declaration issued at the 14th BRICS Summit, the BRICS countries reiterated their commitment to multilateralism. At the same time, it was also emphasized that global governance should be made more inclusive. In addition, it was also resolved to uphold the central role of the United Nations in the international system and the international law. Through this declaration, it was also urged to adopt responsible economic policies. Issuing of the Beijing Declaration is of great importance at a time when the world has entered the phase of shallow change of development. Thereafter, India's becoming a member of the new group, namely 𝐈2U2, is also another significant news. In 𝐈2U2, I2 refers to Israel and India, while U2 refers to USA and UAE. Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated in the first virtual conference of 𝐈2U2. The conference was held during US President Joe Biden's visit to the Middle East earlier this year. The conference was hosted by Yair Lapid, the then Prime Minister of Israel. 𝐈2U2 was formed in October 2021. At the time of its formation, it was called the International Forum for Economic Cooperation. These 4 countries formed 𝐈2U2 to enhance mutual cooperation on various dimensions. There are 6 areas of cooperation such as water, energy, transport, space, health, and food security in 𝐈2U2. The vision and agenda of 𝐈2U2 are progressive and practical. These countries are committed to innovating infrastructure, finding low-carbon emission methods for industries, improving public health, and promoting the development of emerging and green technologies. Not only this, these countries will be able to easily connect themselves to the Western Indian Ocean region by coming together. Due to the presence of 2 Middle East countries, 𝐈2U2 is being called the Quad of Western Asia. On the other hand, after Sri Lanka and Pakistan, India's very close neighboring country, Nepal, has also not remained untouched by the political crises. Political upheaval was witnessed in Nepal as first the government fell and parliament was dissolved, and later the parliament was restored. Amidst all the political upheaval, general elections were held in Nepal in the last month of 2022. In these elections, Sher Bahadur Deoba's Nepali Congress emerged as the largest party by winning 89 seats. K.P. Sharma Oli's Communist Party of China, Unified Marxist-Leninist, emerged as the second largest party by winning 78 seats. Prachanda's Communist Party of Nepal, Maoist Center, managed to win 32 seats, but the largest party had to sit in the opposition as an alliance was formed between the second and third largest parties. Pushpakumar Dahan, Prachanda, has become the Prime Minister of Nepal for the first 2.5 years, and Odi will become the Prime Minister of Nepal for the next 2.5 years. How long this political equation will work in Nepal remains to be seen. As far as India is concerned, the year 2022 was very cardinal for India. India became the president of the G20 group for the first time. India will be the president of G20 group for 1 year. In such a situation, all kinds of expectations are being made from India. One of these expectations is that India can gather support for Africa's inclusion in G20. Actually, India has always been vocal supporter of Africa's inclusion in multilateral organizations. Emphasizing India's position recently, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar stated that India believes Africa's growth and progress are essential for global rebalancing. This sentiment becomes more important at a time when the world is witnessing a sharp polarization between democracies led by the US and authoritarian regimes led by China. Furthermore, the world is facing the challenges of rising fuel and food prices, financial instability, and energy crises due to the uncertainty posed by the Russian-Ukraine war. On the other hand, it is being expected from India that it will reform the world's debt system, as India itself is a developing country. G20 is a group of developed and developing countries. The US and its allies, which control financial institutions, are also members of the G20. Therefore, it is expected that India will use its powers to create a system of debt restructuring and credit for the possibility of multilateral development banks, which will provide relief to poor countries. If India succeeds in doing so, then finance would be provided at concessional rates to middle-income countries, which are particularly vulnerable. Therefore, it's believed that being a developing country, India will definitely help the other poor countries. However, carrying out any reform exercise is not going to be very easy for India, as the superpowers like the US and France are also members of the G20. That's all in this episode. Write your feedback about this program in the comment segment.